Karma is that one currency we all have millions of sitting in our wallets, just piling up over time due to how rarely it's actually used. In fact, I'd love to know how much karma you have, so drop a comment and let's see what kind of crazy amounts the community has been hoarding. In today's video, we're going to cover 11 ways to make gold using karma. 4 of them are highly efficient, 3 are smaller methods with specific use cases, 1 can be worth it in some situations but not in others, and 3 are very popular but are actually the biggest waste of karma and time in all of Guild Wars 2. If you enjoy this kind of content focused on gold making and farming backed by real data, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos, and leave a like to let me know you're enjoying it. The first recommended method is one that you should invest in little by little, day by day, so that once a month you can get the highest possible profit. This method requires having the Central Tyria Mastery line unlocked, specifically Pack Commander, Supply Line Management. With this mastery, you gain access to the daily vendors known as the Pack Supply Network Agents. These vendors change location and inventory every day, but there are 2 items that remain consistent across all of them. One of those is what we're interested in for making gold with karma, the Pack Scouts Mapping Material. This item works similarly to the old reward track potions in World vs World or PvP, but for PvE maps. In case you didn't know, each PvE map in the game has its own simplified reward track. These tracks consist of 3 to 6 items with 40 total reward milestones. Using 1 Pack Scouts mapping material gives you 200 progress points toward that track, which has a total of 8,000 points. So by using 40 of these, which you can collect in just under a week, you'll complete 1 track entirely. This translates to about 8 silver profit for every 1,000 karma spent. The second method uses karma as a support currency. That means you'll need something else in addition to karma to get your gold return. In this case, you'll need Eternal Ice shards alongside karma. With 75 Eternal Ice and 2,688 karma, you can buy materials from Living World Season 4. To do this, go to the first waypoint in Biora Marches and speak to the karma vendor. What you're looking for is any option except Kralkatite Ore. Kralkatite Ore gives an average of 4 volatile magic per use. Since you receive 25 units, that equals 100 volatile magic total. Any of the other 5 materials gives an average of 20 volatile magic per unit, and since you get 10 units, that's 200 volatile magic in total. Considering that volatile magic is currently valued at 40 copper per unit, each purchase would be worth around 80 silver, which translates to 29 silver and 76 copper per 1,000 karma spent. Cons: you need to farm Eternal Ice, and to actually turn this into gold, you'll have to convert the volatile magic into vendor items. Pros: it gives a huge amount of gold per 1,000 karma, and Eternal Ice is very fast to farm. As the third method for turning large amounts of karma into gold, we have the option of buying volatile magic gathering tools using karma. You can purchase volatile magic picks, axes, and harvesting sickles for 4,900 karma each. The pick and axe come with 50 uses, and on average they yield 2 volatile magic per node. The sickle, on the other hand, has 25 uses, but gives around 6 volatile magic per plant. This means that by fully using 1 pick or axe, you earn an average of 100 volatile magic, while using a sickle gives you around 150 volatile magic. At current prices for volatile magic, that would be approximately 8 silver and 10 copper for picks and axes, 12 silver and 24 copper for each harvesting sickle. Since there are garden farming routes in the game where you can harvest over 50 plant nodes, this makes the sickle the most optimal tool and the fastest way to convert karma into gold through gathering. And remember, this is only counting the volatile magic value, not even including the materials you get from the nodes themselves. Pros is easy to obtain, it has solid profit, you can spend a lot of karma daily this way, and it has strong returns per tool. Cons: requires farming afterward to convert volatile magic into gold, and it's an indirect process. The fourth and final method among the most solid ways to make gold with karma is one that only works 3 weeks a year, buying Winter's Day gifts during the Christmas event. During this festival, there's a vendor that sells these gifts in exchange for karma. When you buy a certain number, the price gradually increases until it reaches a maximum, after which you can buy as many as you want. Based on my data from opening over 1 million gifts, we can estimate that each one is currently worth around 3 silver and 58 copper. With that in mind, and considering the karma cost and quantity of gifts you can buy per day, since the vendor resets daily, here's a breakdown. The first 10 gifts cost 7,000 karma, giving you 5 silver and 11 copper per 1,000 karma. The next 10 cost 10,500 karma, which means 3 silver and 40 copper per 1,000 karma. The following 10 cost 14,000 karma, resulting in 2 silver and 56 copper per 1,000 karma. For the rest of the data, check the chart on screen and pause if you want to take a closer look. But in short, the profit per karma continues to decrease until eventually the gift value drops to just 93 copper each. At the point where you can buy unlimited gifts, you'll also need to spend a snowflake for each one, which usually costs around 1 silver and 30 copper during the event, meaning you'll actually start losing gold. Either way, I'll make a video about this before the next Winter's Day event, and I'll include updated numbers since prices may rise a bit, and that might give you the chance to unload a large amount of karma all at once. This method lets you spend a lot of karma quickly, but the profit per 1,000 karma is relatively low. Now let's talk about 3 shorter and more situational methods. These can be useful, but each comes with a few important considerations. The first one is buying antique summoning stones in Arbastone from End of Dragons. This vendor allows you to purchase one of these items per week using karma. Because of their high market value and low karma cost, this gives you almost 26 silver per 1,000 karma. However, since you can only buy one per week, it's not a particularly scalable method. You're limited to using just 7,000 karma per week. The second method involves trade caches. These are chests sold by certain Path of Fire vendors. Specifically, the ones we care about are the Hamasine Trophy Crate and the Chauri League Trophy Crate, the ones labeled Trophy. These crates yield an average of 4 to 5 silver in profit each and only cost 630 karma per unit. That gives you about 7 silver and 15 copper per 1,000 karma used. Not too bad, but each one also costs 50 trade contracts. You could reduce the cost by buying trade keys and opening map chests instead, but honestly, there aren't many of them, the routes aren't great, and there's a daily purchase limit on the keys. Personally, I don't recommend this method too much. However, if you've been hoarding thousands of trade contracts like I have, it's a decent way to clean out both your karma and contracts. The last situational option is obsidian shards. These are used in crafting legendary weapons, and because of that, I strongly recommend saving up karma specifically for this purpose if you ever plan to get into legendary crafting. The profit per karma spent here varies a lot, but since crafting legendaries is one of the most profitable activities in the game, it's absolutely worth keeping some karma aside for this. In this next section, we're going to cover 3 methods that are extremely popular but have never actually been profitable, not even back in 2012 when everyone used them. The first method is buying Lost Orient jewelry boxes. These boxes give you only a few copper per 1,000 karma spent, and that's even after factoring in the karma they refund when opened. This method became very popular before the release of the first expansion, but even then the return was laughably bad. Of course, back then hardly anyone had gold, so it was considered decent at the time, but today it's one of the worst karma sinks in the entire game. Another widely used method that will just waste your time and gold is buying gloves and rings from karma vendors, throwing them into the Mystic Forge and salvaging the result. This gives you almost no profit per 1,000 karma. This method was never good, but when some players discovered it in 2012, they figured it would make a great YouTube video. And they weren't wrong about the views, but they absolutely misled players who ended up wasting millions of karma for basically nothing. Even today, some people still recommend this method. Please don't do it, for your own sake. The third and final method on this list of low value options is the Karmic Converter. It's not as widely known, but I personally bought one for around 350 gold, and honestly, I don't think I've made even 15 gold back from it. At this rate, I estimate it would take over 10 years to break even, let alone make a profit. But before we wrap up this video, I want to mention one last method: crafting beaded weapons. Each of these weapons costs around 25 silver and 1,575 karma to craft. They're not crafted often, which means some of them can be sold instantly for a profit of 5 to 10 silver in the best cases, and if you're patient and list them on the trading post, profits can go as high as 35 silver, which comes out to over 20 silver per 1,000 karma spent. I'm bringing this up specifically because I've been hearing from people in my Twitch streams that this method is gaining popularity in several videos. The issue isn't the profit itself, that's an objective number we can't argue with. The real problem is selling them. According to the official API, these weapons are selling at a rate of 3 to 40 units per week, which translates to 0 to 6 sales per day per weapon. Considering that you should never post more than 15% of an item's weekly volume when crafting for profit, you'd only be able to list 0 to 1 weapon per day at best, with a high chance that it won't sell at all. So honestly, I don't recommend wasting your time with this method. That's all for now. In this video about how to make gold with karma, I know I didn't mention some of the daily items you can buy in the Panther Wilds expansion, but honestly, the monthly profit just isn't worth the effort. Remember, if you want more videos focused on gold making in Guild Wars 2, this is the channel for you. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.